It's me. You know how like somebody you angry at a kid? I'm a fighter. If I touch you in any kind of way, like as far as I'm gonna hurt you. So it wasn't that. It was just me removing her from that situation. That
Gervonta Davis has finally spoken out about the recent lawsuit filed against him and the latest updates concerning his fight with Jake Paul. According to Tank, the details of the lawsuit brought against him are false accusations from one of his exes who is doing everything possible to destroy his career.
Is there any like positive reassuring things that maybe you can, in a situation of a fighter who's, the whole world's against them at the moment, and kind of
just stay prayed up, talk to God, you know what I mean, and keep the faith. That's all that counts, and God will see you through.
Awesome, appreciate it.
Yeah.
In the statement released by Tank, he claimed there is now a pattern forming among his exes who use desperate means to get money from him. There's a growing trend among women he's had intimate relationships with in the past to use desperate means to extract money from him. And just like before, it's happening right before another fight. It's all false. He stated he is working actively with his team to ensure everything gets resolved before his fight in 2 weeks. The fight remains scheduled, and he asked that his privacy be respected during this time.
she's mad, and once I seen her, it's not I grabbed her by the neck. I just told her, I grabbed her like I should, like you gotta get out of here, type like, and I probably was wrong for doing that. I was wrong for doing that, but it wasn't so much of not me trying to hit her or.
Also, Gervonta Davis's coach Calvin Ford told USA Today that Tank is doing fine and that they were surprised by the lawsuit. He's doing great. Everything's good. That's why we're trying to find out what's going on. Jake Paul also released a statement regarding the latest news, saying he and his team would look into the matter for clarity before taking any action. Most Valuable Promotions released a statement addressing the latest lawsuit against Gervonta Davis. Addressing the issue in a statement emailed to the press, MVP said it had already launched an investigation and would take further action once the matter was reviewed. Most Valuable Promotions immediately initiated an investigation upon learning of the civil lawsuit filed against Gervonta Davis in Miami-Dade County on October 30, 2025. At this time, we are gathering information and reviewing the details to ensure any decision we make is thoroughly vetted. We unequivocally condemn any form of violence and are committed to handling this matter with diligence and respect for all involved. We will make a determination on next steps once our review is complete and after consulting with the appropriate parties. Until then, we will not be commenting further.
Gervonta Tank Davis did something awful again, and no, it wasn't scheduling another fight with Jake Paul. He beat a woman. Again. And once again, I'm not talking about Jake Paul. If you know Tank Davis, you know he has a lot of run-ins with the law. This is actually a civil suit over a certain criminal case that was dropped early.
The lawsuit, filed on October 30th by his former girlfriend Courtney Roselle, accuses him of battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. According to the lawsuit, Roselle worked as a VIP cocktail waitress at a gentleman's club called Tootsie's. On October 27th, Davis allegedly stormed into the club and attacked Roselle at 4:15 a.m. She accuses Davis of choking, grabbing, and dragging her through the kitchen stairwell and back exit, then beating her in the parking garage. Roselle claims she had been privately dating Davis for 5 months but accuses Tank of choking and beating her on multiple occasions, including threatening to kill her twice.
Movies and dressing up while watching scary movies. And lo and behold, breaking news. I just saw this here thanks to my agent Neville, who sent me this. Chris Mannix, love you boy. That was my brother. He posted that Jake Paul is.
On September 2nd, Davis allegedly threatened to kill her for not answering his calls and texts. Then, on September 23rd, Davis once again threatened her, texting, "I'll kill you," and accusing Roselle of infidelity before physically assaulting her publicly in a restaurant called Playa Miami that same day. The lawsuit also claims that Davis texted Roselle an hour after the October 27th incident, writing, "I'm on my way." Hoya house. Roselle believes he was heading to her home to abuse her again. She claims to be suffering from severe PTSD due to the abuse and lives in constant fear for her life. The lawsuit further states that she has sought medical treatment and therapy following the assaults and now requires assistance with daily living.
Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. This looks really bad for him. While all the details aren't out, we know the details from the original case, which was basically a shut case with a lot of evidence that he did it. That, along with his prior incidents, innocent until proven guilty, but yeah, you know, if you
According to ESPN, neither Most Valuable Promotions nor Davis's camp responded to inquiries about the status of the fight. It's complete radio silence from all parties, leaving Tank fans with déjà vu as the boxing community waits to see how Davis's latest legal troubles unfold.
But from my understanding, it's a civil suit. It probably could turn into worse. A woman who is a waitress at a club. So, I don't know all the details. You guys can check the details, but
according to a report from Sports Illustrated's Chris Mannix, Jake Paul's team is now actively preparing to find a replacement opponent for the November 14th card. Mannix posted on X announcing the development. Legal issues surrounding Davis have become a recurring problem, starkly contradicting what the World Boxing Association lightweight champion recently said about his mental health. The case could lead to serious consequences for Davis both inside and outside the ring in the coming days and could definitely put the Paul vs. Tank event in real jeopardy.
people are going to believe he did it this time. So why is this coming up again? Well, now we talk about Jake Paul. There were a lot of theories that the reason the original charges got dropped, despite it being pretty clear that he was going to get convicted, was he convinced her to stop pressing charges so that he can actually schedule this Jake Paul fight. Because it was announced the day after the...
With Gervonta Davis's legal troubles threatening the highly anticipated exhibition match against Jake Paul, reports have emerged of a search for a new opponent. It didn't take long for Garcia's name to surface at the top of the list of possible contenders. Although he has had back-and-forth exchanges with the Paul brothers and even appeared to call out Jake, it's unclear if the Californian is seriously considering this unexpected opportunity. However, even if he does, Ryan Garcia might need to hold back his excitement. His promoter, Oscar de la Hoya, reportedly wants nothing to do with a fight against Jake Paul. The former world champion turned promoter had worked with Paul's MVP back in June.
Guys, happy Saturday. So I wake up to calls from reporters asking me about Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia. Let me just tell you why this fight is not going to happen. Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. You know.
Still, reported broadcast partnerships make a direct matchup difficult. De La Hoya's comments come amid new reports of Garcia preparing a comeback against welterweight champion Mario Barrios. So, I wake up to calls from reporters asking me about Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia, began Oscar de la Hoya in a direct statement. Fight Hub TV shared the footage on social media, where he explained why a Garcia-Paul matchup cannot happen. The Golden Boy honcho stated Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. That's pretty much the bottom line.
They want to rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting. No, you have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with DAZN. You have a contract with Golden Boy. It just doesn't happen that way. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you Saturday for Virgil Ortiz. But again, Ryan Garcia's next fight will be announced by me, who he's fighting, and when he's fighting next.
Anticipating a backlash from Ryan Garcia, De La Hoya elaborated on how business works. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. You know, Ryan Garcia is probably going to rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and fighting, but no, you have to follow the law and the rules, he insisted. As far as Oscar de la Hoya is concerned, the boundary is clear, a DAZN and Netflix crossover cannot happen. Possibly aware that the statement might disappoint fans, he hinted at sharing news about Ryan Garcia's next fight very soon.
What was your take on the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight? What was your opinion on that?
It was all right, you know. It's kind of like what it was.
Mr. Fake.
If Jake Paul calls you for early next year, is that what you want to do?
Yeah, let's run that.
Digging a bit deeper, it appears that discussions of a matchup between Garcia and Mario Barrios are currently in progress. Boxing insider Mike Coppinger wrote, Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios are closing in on a deal for a WBC welterweight title fight in the first quarter of 2026, sources told Ring Magazine. Officials from Garcia's promoter, Golden Boy, and PBC have been exchanging contracts, per sources. Meanwhile, Most Valuable Promotions released an official statement saying they are collecting facts and carefully examining the situation so that any decision they make is well informed and responsible. We will make a determination on next steps once we have completed our review and consulted with the appropriate parties, part of it read.
You have a contract with Golden Boy. It just doesn't happen that way. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you Saturday for Virgil Ortiz. But again, Ryan Garcia's next fight will be announced by me, who he's fighting, and when he's fighting next.
If Jake Paul and his team fail to secure Ryan Garcia, Anthony Joshua could be another alternative. Fans may recall that Paul had already called out the former heavyweight champion earlier this year. However, the latest reports suggest Joshua is in talks for a potential matchup against Jarrell Miller in a Ghana showdown. Davis was accused of aggravated battery by another ex-girlfriend just 2 months ago. Davis was also arrested in 2020 and 2022 on alleged domestic violence charges. The arrest came nearly a month after he allegedly assaulted the mother of 2 of his 3 children on Father's Day outside her home in Doral, according to an incident report by the Doral Police Department.
Hey? Nigga, where Derek at? I don't know.
You don't like
Frank? What that mean?
I don't like Florence, motherfucker.
No, you don't.
DJ, you the trash.
According to the report, Davis's ex-girlfriend told police she was involved in a verbal dispute with the boxer over personal matters and Gervonta having insecurities about the sexuality of their son. Davis arrived at her residence at 5:04 p.m. Eastern Time on June 15 to pick up his children when the situation escalated. After placing both children in Davis's car, she alleged that Davis punched her on the back of her head with a closed fist and slapped her in the face. She was able to regain custody of her children, which further angered Davis. According to the report,
Floyd outdoing him. He always been like that. You know what I mean? So I gotta focus on what I'm focused on. He already did what he had to do, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Me, if I did what I like what he did in the sport, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be the same way. Yeah.
She said Davis revved the engine of his vehicle in a threatening manner, but she was able to remove herself from the situation without further incident. Afterward, she went to a local hospital for medical treatment. A note in the report indicated that there had been approximately 10 undocumented physical altercations between Davis and his ex-girlfriend. Davis was taken into custody in Miami Beach before being transported by the Doral Police Department. According to the Miami-Dade County inmate report, Davis was being held at Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center with a $10,000 bond but has since been released. He has a court hearing scheduled for July 29. The star boxer has had numerous run-ins with the law over the years, including domestic violence and multiple traffic offenses.
Gervonta Davis, jump into it, I wouldn't say it's a big shock to a lot of us, but, there's this mindset, the fight with Lamont's not signed yet, apparently he's going to fight Jake Paul,
His last run-in came in December 2022 when he was arrested for allegedly striking a woman with a closed-hand type slap. The charges were later dropped. Davis had reportedly been linked to a rematch with Lamont Roach Jr. in August after the two fought to a controversial majority draw in March. However, Premier Boxing Champions has yet to officially announce the fight. Fox Sports' Andy Slater was the first to report the matter, stating that the arrest occurred because Davis was accused of hitting his ex-girlfriend on the back of the head and slapping her. The victim reported that the defendant instructed her to remove the children from his vehicle, stating he no longer intended to take them. The report reads, while she was positioned at the rear passenger door and leaning forward to retrieve her daughter from the back seat, the defendant, positioned in the driver's seat, struck her in the back of the head.
Bernard, a lot to talk about. Let's jump into it real quick. I'm sure you saw the news about Gervonta Davis being arrested once again. Just give me your thoughts, you know.
Unfortunately, man, I hope he come out. You know what I mean? Everybody else come out. I'm not with the domestic violence thing, man, but I hope that, you know, he get that straightened out. And
Davis then allegedly proceeded to slap the ex on the right side of her face, causing a minor laceration to the inner area of her lip. The distressed and crying victim sent a text to her mother, who came outside and filmed part of the incident on her cell phone for battery.
Wow, put your hands behind your back. You got handcuffs? Hey,
The video showed Davis throwing a small box at the victim, says the affidavit. Davis left the scene, and the victim went to Baptist Health Hospital to receive medical attention, where she was first interviewed by police. A probable cause message was entered into the FCIC and NCIC databases requesting Davis's detainment should law enforcement come into contact with him.
Domestic violence and battery charges against his baby mother, who's the mother of two of his children, Vanessa Paso, I believe her name is. Now, I want to do this in a certain order because I think since people kind of stopped watching videos midway through, I'm going to put some of the most important points I want to make at the beginning of the video, right?
A little after midnight on Friday, they did. The fighter was taken into custody on the 900 block of Lincoln Lane North by Miami Beach Police and transported to the Doral Police Department. When presented with a Miranda warning form, the Baltimore native refused to sign it, police said. This marked Davis's second domestic violence arrest in Florida, and it wasn't the first legal trouble for the WBA lightweight champion. On February 27, 2019, Davis had an arrest warrant issued for him in Virginia because of an alleged altercation with a man at an ATM. Tank allegedly shoved a police officer and was charged with 1 count of misdemeanor assault, but the case was dismissed that October, according to TMZ.
You know, you got arrested. I mean, any thoughts on that one?
You did, huh? Again?
Yeah, again.
You know, I mean, hey, look, I actually like Tank Davis. He's a good, he's a good kid. He's a good fighter, a great fighter, actually. He's one of my favorites. Yeah, just get your... That's it, basically. Just shit, you don't hit women, man.
Yeah! Nearly 1 year later, he was charged with simple battery and domestic violence in Coral Gables, Florida, on February 4, 2020. The incident involved the mother of his daughter at the University of Miami, and a video showed him grabbing her by the neck and pulling her out of her seat as they walked out of a charity basketball game. 2 days later, Davis turned himself in to the Coral Gables Police Department.
Detention by a servant at a four-season hotel and a $3.4 million penthouse rather than trainer Calvin Ford house as the judge agreed. This is the reason why Tank is not being jailed. Gervonta Davis' lawyer argued that the house was too small for security staff.
Davis was held on a $1,500 bail and later denied the allegations on social media. The arrest affidavit alleged that Davis dragged the mother of his child into a separate room, and video surveillance showed he made a motion consistent with striking her in the face. On November 5, 2020, Tank allegedly fled the scene of a car accident in Baltimore, Maryland, that involved 4 people, including J.R. Smith, who was pregnant at the time. Davis faced 14 different charges, including failure to return and remain at the scene. He later pleaded guilty to 4 traffic offenses related to the hit-and-run crash, which included leaving the scene of an accident involving bodily injury, failing to notify of property damage, driving with a revoked license, and running a red light.
Boxing champion Gervonta "Tank" Davis has been arrested and charged with battery in South Florida. Police allege the Baltimore native assaulted his ex-girlfriend during an argument on Father's Day in Doral, Florida. Davis was arrested and booked by Miami Beach Police, and a judge set his bond at $10,000. This is the latest.
I'll tell you that this is a first for me because as Davis was walking out of the Turner Guilford Night Center, he had 3 corrections officers surrounding him, not really allowing reporters to get close to him to ask him questions. That said, I did ask those questions as to his allegations. He is accused of striking his ex-girlfriend, the mother of his children. I asked him about those charges.
He was sentenced to 90 days of house arrest and given 200 hours of community service. On December 27, 2022, Davis allegedly struck a woman with a closed-hand type slap. The audio of the 911 call revealed the woman saying she needed help, that she was attacked, and that he was going to kill her. 3 days later, the woman stated that she was not harmed by Davis. Davis, 30, was set to rematch Lamont Roach Jr. on August 16 in Las Vegas, but it was canceled. Now, with just a few weeks left before the Jake Paul fight, Davis's lawsuit puts the clash in serious jeopardy. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications to get alerted when we drop quality content like this. Until next time, peace out.